666 Fifth Avenue, a prime piece of New York City's skyline, just 6 blocks from Central Park. Jared Kushner decided to make it his trophy in 2007.
This was the deal that put Jared on the map. I think every dynasty wants to own a piece of Manhattan.
To get the seller's attention, Kushner offered a big price, $1.8 billion, a record at the time. And the 26-year-old CEO of Kushner Companies borrowed aggressively to get the deal done.
To a place we call the cloud. But this cloud is grounded in hardware, a chaos of code. But with the right tools, you can find the signal. Inside your computer, if you listen hard enough, there's a hum, a heartbeat, a pulse. Like us, technology lives, dies, and evolves. We embrace each new version faster than the one before, and our devices have gone from a convenience to a dependence. Of a stranger future. The question is, what happens when we become more than human?
In my left hand, which is about the size of a grain of rice. I use it to access the office. I just swipe my hand at the door. I can turn off the alarm. I can log into the different...
They're in our access cards, our credit cards, our cell phones, and our passports. We even use them to tag our livestock and our pets. What's enticing about this technology is that we could eventually store all of our personal information on RFID chips and never have to carry keys, cards, or cash again.
So the incision was a little shallow. You might be able to see it. There we go.
They share their experiences online for all to see. And the deeper you look into this world, the more dangerous it gets. Biohacking used to be hidden on sites that were unindexed and impossible to find. But now, anyone can mail order implant kits from DangerousThings.com, a hacker gadget company that sold 5,000 human microchips in just the last couple of years. People all over the world are posting about getting chipped. But despite the hype, the idea of implanting a computer chip inside the body doesn't sit right with everyone. And one day, we may not have a choice.
Not collude with Russia, nor do I know of anyone else in the campaign who did so. I had no improper contacts. I have not relied on Russian funds for my businesses. And I have been fully transparent in providing all requested information.
Some of what these meetings were about was 666 Fifth Avenue.
This is generally why you don't mix family, politics, and business, right? This is part of what the Emoluments Clause was going at, because we don't want the United States, the presidency, to be operating the way these kleptocracies operate in Russia and elsewhere around the world. So this is already problematic for us culturally in the United States, and that's essentially what the Mueller investigation is getting into. And they're getting into it in partnership with the State Attorney General of New York, and that's key, particularly when we talk about the 666 building, because that's New York real estate issues, which then allows a state crimes, right, potentially the state challenges to be coming if a federal investigation on, say, Manafort gets pardoned by Donald Trump as president. The president does not have any pardoning authority against a case that's brought at the state level. So Jared Kushner could still end up being criminally liable for these contacts with Russia in a way his father-in-law cannot intervene.
At 666 Fifth Avenue, Jared Kushner's company still holds half of the $1.2 billion mortgage and hasn't paid a cent.
He was talking about that, his nation was being falsely accused, that these were false flag, fake chemical attacks. And, so you were listening to his comments and it sounds, normal what he's saying. But then he mentioned genetically modified entities.
Saudi Arabia today that we eliminated its terrorist tentacles in eastern Ghouta, and I mean Jaish al-Islam gangs. Yes, we say to Qatar and Turkey that we eliminated their terrorist tentacles in eastern Ghouta, and I mean Al-Nusra Front gangs and Failaq al-Rahman gangs. And I say to all those who exported to us armed, moderate, genetically modified opposition, that we eliminated these toxic exports, and we call upon those exporters to bear the consequences of their actions, as some elements who survived would return to their original countries.
Toxic substances in his country.
Nephilim. They're
Modern
Nephilim.
Day, that's what it would be.
That's what we're dealing with. He's talking about Nephilim. The Nephilim are back.
To evacuate remaining unlawful armed groups in the terrorist pockets in the eastern part of Aleppo. And it has organized yesterday a convoy to evacuate 3,750 terrorists and their families. Unfortunately, some member states in the Security Council and the mainstream media continue to defend and support the genetically modified armed Syrian opposition, moderate by definition, while turning a blind eye to the crimes committed by them.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, 666. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.